Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu and welcome to a Company of Heroes 2 Shoutcast. This is a match that should be pretty good today between, what am I saying? I'm getting tongue-tied, it's been so long since I've done one of these, between a Toranyo, I can't roll my R's, I'm Jewish, so my heritage has gifted me with the ability to say make sounds like, I can't think of a word with in it, because I don't speak German, but I can't roll my R's. So this guy, or girl, and Honey Nuts, also a guy or girl, Toranyo is the Soviets, and Honey Nuts is the Osther. So vanilla factions on this ultra vanilla map, Samoski, going all the way back to the original Company Heroes, but snowing this time. And these two players are pretty rockin'. Okay, I won't try and roll it anymore. Toranyo is 35th in the world for Soviets, and Honey Nuts is 34th in the world for Osther. So I guess or they're Wehrmacht now. So I guess I'll predict Honey Nuts is going to win because Honey Nuts is ranked 1 higher. And oops, I've been using my middle mouse to pan around, but that makes a noise on the thing. Oh, and Honey Nuts is also ranked pretty high with all the other 4 factions. Toranyo seems to focus mostly on the Soviets. Sensible build orders so far, just spamming conscripts and spamming grenadiers for both players, nothing special. That means we've got the tier 1 or whatever the fuck up for the Osther, and I'm excited to see where this goes. It's been so long since I've shoutcast a Company Heroes 2 match or posted any videos, I guess, if you go to my channel. I've almost hit 5,000 subscribers, so I feel like I have to do something for that, so I'm like getting ready for that. Maybe I'll like make a video of my dick or something. And the German Soldiers mod for Assault Squad 2 came out, so I've been trying to make a video of that, but I get like shitty ping to every match anyone hosts because it's only Europeans hosting these things, because Europeans are the ones with the good taste in strategy games, and also flight sims. Europeans have much better taste in flight sims and military sims and strategy games. RPGs maybe, I feel like sometimes they have slightly better taste than Americans, I don't know. But that means nobody's hosting stuff. Pioneer's not having much trouble pushing off the combat engineers. This hasn't changed ever since the very beginning of Company Heroes 2. Their MP40s were more than a match for these dudes, which is kind of weird because in the original Company Heroes you had just submachine guns on both units, and it evened out. The engineers were slightly worse than pioneers, but there were 3 of them rather than 2 in the squad. Another weird thing is that Company Heroes 2 sort of just moderated all the squad sizes. Everything's like a 4-man squad to a 6-man squad. You don't have 3-man squads or 2-man squads. A lot less variation there. I don't know what that's about. I kind of miss Company Heroes 1. But yeah, pretty standard capping for both sides. The Osther has decided to be slightly more aggressive. It looks like the Soviets spent a while holed up in this house. I'm not sure why. I guess trying to protect this very crucial fuel, but took the Soviets a while to capture that fuel. So we're going to see a lot of urban combat, pretty normal for Samoski, the middle being such an important location, along with this fuel sort of up north, those being the 2 fuels to fight over on the winter version of this map, which very oddly has different resources than the summer or the fall version of this map. Oh, and we did have a doctrine choice picked, of course, by the Soviets, so we're going to see perhaps an IS-2 or a KB-8 coming out at the end. I'm a big fan of this doctrine. It's one of the ones you get for free, so I always like that because you don't have to wait for war spoils to drop it for you, or you don't have to shell out some money to relic, which, fuck that, I already paid for the game, I'm not going to buy commanders, bullshit. So, but this is a pretty nice one. It gets shock troops, and you're going to want shock troops or guards, typically, when you pick your doctrine. You at least want in your lineup, I think, 1 with shock troops and 1 with guards is what I think is good. You always want to have one of those elite infantry ready to call in if you need to pick a doctrine for them, especially depending on what you're planning on teching to. Otherwise, meanwhile, watch all this, like, see how these houses are holding up the Germans. You can buy so much time for yourself with houses. Oh, I gotta mention, this is a pre-patch, so I'm recording this the day before Relic says it's going to release the October patch, which is going to add observer mode, holy shit, and some other stuff. So they're gonna change building health quite a bit, which is good because it's like stupid right now. Nice flank coming in by these conscripts. They're gonna have to cross the red cover to get there, and that means the MG is able to start mowing them down, but they fire up, ooh, or they oorah. Ooh, and they don't quite get around it, so that was a really, really nice reposition from Honey Nuts, catching that conscript squad. These guys in the house got forced off because they were getting low, and this looks like it's gonna be a win for the Osther. We do have a flamethrower on these combat engineer squads, and that can turn a battle really fast. You get a couple lucky flame crits, especially on units like this that have their health bar lowered by all this fighting they've been doing. When your health bar is lower, of course, the chance for a flamethrower to get a critical hit and kill a lot of people is much, much higher. So it's nice to bring in a flamethrower to sort of clear out enemies, and doubly so when they're in buildings like this, because that's really nice. I'm curious as to see whether the Soviets are actually going to make anything work. So nice micro here again from the German player, getting out as soon as that flamethrower got there, and he or she should have no trouble kiting these engineers. At this sort of long range, they're going to have to advance over red cover, probably going to hop out of this house. Yes, good micro there. Going to focus fire with the rest of these guys, and that's not going to be much of a problem. The Soviets trying to use these houses as cover, get around the side of them, then get in them, flame these people out, but again, good pulling back out of the range of the flamethrower. And meanwhile, though, on the plus side, you might say, oh man, Soviets are fucking getting reamed, but the Soviets are really taking advantage of the Germans winning this fight to capture the map. Specifically, this fuel point in the north is the Soviets, and the rest of the Soviet force has been holding this point. So often you can lose the battle and win the war, and that is, I think, the Soviet player's strategy in this fight. You don't want to lose the conscript squad, because then you'll lose the battle and the war. But that's, I think, the Soviet player's strategy here, holding on to both fuels. Both fuels are connected. Meanwhile, the Ostherr just has some dinky strategic points, which do add to your fuel income. Notice we're at plus 22 versus plus 27, not much of a difference there, but still, plus 5 fuel for the Soviets is a pretty big deal, and that's looking fairly nice. And also capping some stuff up in here. Lost some VPs though, down 50. Was I gonna talk about something? Oh, I'm drunk. Let's get more vodka. I'm drunker than I usually am at this time of day, but not as drunk as I'm about to be. Whoop, I dropped the cap on the vodka. I have one hand trying to move the camera and another hand trying to pour. Can you hear the glug, glug, glug in a sec? I don't know if the microphone's picking that up. It probably isn't. I don't know. It's a really nice, it's a sensitive microphone. It's a Blue Yeti. You ever want to record stuff and you want your voice to sound as nice as mine? Because I'm probably making everybody's panties wet and dick hard right now. If you want a voice that sounds as nice as mine, get yourself a Blue Yeti microphone. It would be better if you also have a recording studio, because right now I have to do all sorts of noise reduction stuff because it picks up like all sorts of bullshit. But we have a 2MG strategy from the Ostherr here, and interestingly enough, they're also... Ooh, that snow's fucking with this guy. Looks like he'll get out. That could have been really bad. I gotta drink the vodka though, one sec. Down the hatch. Ah, just a shot glass worth, but that's enough because I don't weigh anything. So we had two MGs with overlapping almost 100% fields of fire, and so that's the mark of a confident Ostherr player who has some grenadiers down here and knows that by scouting for these MGs, they can set up the overlapping fields of fire and not worry about being flanked by something they're not expecting to come. We do have dueling flamethrowers, not unusual to see in a map as urban as this. What is sort of unusual to see is just how focused the fighting has been. Aside from that one Soviet venture up north to capture the fuel point, and aside from these guys who are also going up north, everyone's just been fucking fighting in the middle. Nice Molotov forcing off this thing, so we've got Molotovs and flamethrowers, and it looks like finally we're going to get some more dynamicism, but not for long. These shock troops are really going to force off these infantry. So despite picking the doctrine before knowing like anything, it's picked the doctrine almost as soon as the game started, the Soviet is going to be able to use these shock troops to good effect. Now is exactly the time to bring them in. This is an unfortunate place for the shock troops to be. It looks like they just touched a smoke grenade. I don't know where it went. I hope that's not the bug where you fucking cancel the ability and it just uses your munitions but it doesn't do anything. I think it was that bug, so I think that's one of the things they're going to try and fix. Oh, these guys just got fucked. So that's like the worst place in the entire... I think this area might be like among the worst places for shock troops in all of the 1v1 maps. There might be some 1v1 maps I'm not quite familiar with because I haven't been playing a lot of Company of Heroes 2, but as far as the ones I am familiar with, just big fucking open spaces, no good for shock troops, worst thing ever. They do have the smoke grenades, but yeah, so man, god, that's gonna be a fucking patch. I played in beta a tiny bit, seemed kind of the same in terms of responsiveness, but probably I need to go back and play this shitty old thing to realize how much more responsive the beta is. I don't know, there's some really good changes. I'll talk about them if I ever make a shotcast on one of those after the patch comes out. But right now we're pre-patch, and yeah. So, man, so much fighting over the middle. It's surprising to me that the Soviets are trying to, like, sort of That was a nice Molotov. These guys are in trouble. I'm surprised he hasn't picked up yet. But I'm surprised the Soviets are just throwing so much manpower and so much effort at this. I guess what they realize that the Oster is just happy, or Wehrmacht is just happy to fight here. There's been no indication that the Wehrmacht's looking for any sort of flank. I guess now we have a cheeky squad going over here with minesweepers, which is pretty good. Does he have any, or do they have any reason to expect mines? I don't know. I don't think the Soviets have laid any mines. Certainly, I suspect the combat engineers have just been busy fighting as soon as they got their flamethrower ready, but still, good prediction there. I mean, not good prediction, good, you hate to... Oh, God! He lost the flamethrower. It got exploded in a crit, and I think the burn damage also fucked up a couple of those conscripts who were inexplicably just standing around there, and that's really unfortunate. Even if it didn't happen, he or she did lose the flamethrower, so that was just terrible. I hate... That seems to happen a lot in Company Heroes 2. So, this is going to be a nice little scout car. This is probably bought to preempt any sort of clown carring, but we have no teching from the Soviets. We have 227 fuel floating for the Soviets. Mein Gott. How do you say my God in Soviet-esque? In Sovietese, in Russian. I know like no words in Russian. I know Das Vidanya. I know... I don't know any fucking... Jesus. Okay, but... What was my point? Oh, floating! That's a lot of fuel! 148 fuel also floating for the Oster. What are these players doing? They're both trying to react to each... I don't know. They're saving up for super tanks. They're going to see a KV-8 as soon as we get the CPs. That's a lot of CPs from now, though. I just don't know. Yeah, these pioneers didn't have a chance. That's what happens when you bring a minesweeper to a gunfight. Classic saying. In all sorts of languages. All sorts of languages have the saying that translates to don't bring a minesweeper to a gunfight. Except Burundi. That language does not have one. So I don't know why the Soviets not teching. I suppose it's because the engineers are too busy fighting. I don't see these conscripts getting out like intact. Yeah, this is going to be bad. These guys, I guess, are not focusing the conscripts. Maybe the scout car will chase them down. That would be worth trying. And now that it's on the road, it should be able to drive really fast, and it shouldn't be able to, or shouldn't have too much trouble killing the... Oh, but yes, this is Samusky Winter, so they can retreat across this thing. So that cuts their retreat path down a bit. And now we have finally a smoke grenade being efficacious. Probably gonna see a shock or anti-personnel grenade tossed from the shock troops, and boom, kills one dude. Not ideal. Soviets really just eating it. Oh god, this is ugly. Again, not the worst thing in the world. Soviets fine with... How the fuck do you have 600 manpower? Motherfucker, how does this... What is this... What is this game? What is this game? I guess that's just... I mean, Soviet shit's cheap, I guess. What are shock troops? Shock troops are expensive to reinforce. Once these guys retreat to base, up here I'll click on them and show you how much they cost to reinforce. But like fucking conscripts, yeah, I'll pay 20 manpower for a conscript. Fucking, like, I pay more to wake up in the morning. Wow, what happened? What the shit happened to these guys? Jesus, motherfucker, they were... I don't even... Oh god, that squad is down. Okay, well, I gotta click on these guys. 32 to reinforce. See, that's still not bad. Ooh, a dude. Let's go over to this dude. Or lady. What the... Man, god. So those shock troops... Sorry I missed this. I was busy thinking about like 6 things simultaneously. I was gonna make a joke. Was I gonna make a joke? Oh, no, I wasn't gonna make a joke. I was gonna tell you about my alarm clock, which is... Nobody gives a shit. But, so something happened up here. Namely, the shock troops ran in on a suicide mission, it turned out. Suicide. My voice went up. It's the vodka. Let's have more vodka. Shock troops went in on a suicide mission, decrewed the MG-42. So we do have this doctrine chosen, the weird one with the assault grenadiers. I don't know why it's weird. I call it weird, but there's nothing weird about it. Eventually you get a tiger at the end. I like to load the fuck up on doctrines where there's a big tank at the end. That just gives me... There's this sort of comforting feeling. I'm drinking, by the way, Trader Joe's Vodka of the Gods. By the liter, I think it's about the cheapest alcohol that Trader Joe's sells. Maybe $2 Chuck is cheaper. I have a bottle of that to my left, but it's not open. Alright, another glass down the hatch. Vodka. Okay, so this half-track is almost certainly for reinforcement purposes. If I get too drunk, this is actually going to get slightly difficult. Okay, so this thing's almost certainly for reinforcement purposes, and I guess it's gonna be cloud car. What is the Soviet player doing? Where's the fuel going? Swap over. Whoops. Where the hell? Well, oh, I see it because I switched it and the resources moved. Okay, still 250 fuel. So as expected, we have both grenade upgrades. I mean, that's something to spend your fuel on. No reason not to get that for your conscripts, especially when you've got 4 of them and you're keeping them alive. We have another conscript squad, or another shock troop squad called in to replace the dead ones. I'm just, I'm a little perplexed by the absence of teching from the Soviet player. I guess it really is save up for like double KV-8s or something. It looks like Soviet player's not going to have the manpower to drive that by the time we get to KV-8s, but what do I know? We got a whole 2 CPs until then, or more like 1 1/4. But well, I don't know. Surprising is the word. Man, focus fire on these engineers takes out the dude with a flamethrower again. Now he's just a burning patch of unhappiness. And Soviet player making some progress, actually. These guys have been doing some backcapping, so we have really nice map control for the Soviets. The income looks more or less... wait. What? Oof. Nice AT grenades in on this thing, clearing it out. Yep, you see the AT grenade on cooldown. And it looks like more AT grenades on this thing. Soviet player can probably clean this up with small arms fires, trying to get the Panzer Grenadiers, or assault. Those are Panzer Grenadiers, right? Yeah, those are Panzer Grens. Trying to get the Panzer Gren squad, but should maybe focus... Oh, this is getting ugly. Ah, what is... the fuck is going on? This Stuk has been surprisingly impactful. 5 infantry killed and a friendly killed. And there's the half-track kaput. So I was trying to say, I don't think I ever fully articulated it, I was trying to say the Soviets should probably focus small arms fire on the half-track. Soviet player does eventually wipe it out. So all is well that ends well for the motherland, as they say in Soviet land. And finally we have tier 1. Oh, no, sorry, tier 2. What am I talking about? I am that drunk. I'm actually feeling it now. So, AT gun's sensible because you're not going to kill this with AT grenades. This is a cute little thing. I love this stubby little gun. Look at that. It's like... not my dick. My dick is massive. It's like your dick. It's got a bear. How can you hate anything that has like a zombie bear or a sleepwalking bear or something? Can't you just picture a bunch of fucking Nazis being like, ah, let's put a bear on the tank. Ha 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 ha. We'll put the bear on the tank. Ha ha ha. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Germans in terms of map control at this point. At plus 39 income. Damn it, I want to compare the munitions and fuel income back when the Soviets had much of that map, but that's not an option. Now these guys are relegated to backcapping. There are no mines for you to uncover, so you are probably feeling pretty useless. They have little white helmets. I love how they have white helmets, but nothing else in their entire uniform is even close to the color of snow, except maybe their collars. So like, you can hide your head from the enemy. I guess that's nice if you're like poking up over a man, that guy's head is twitchy. He keeps looking left and right. If you poke your head up over a hill or something and it's white and everything else is white. Germans were big fans of white stuff. White people mostly. Don't know why. Racism. So Soviet seems to be kind of fans sometimes of I was about to say blobbing, but that I think is unfair. The Soviets are repositioning right now to get a sort of more better arrangement of... Well, I thought the Soviets were repositioning to get a better arrangement of forces, but I guess all the conscripts are just going to hang out here. It's a conscript party. How much damage on the Stug? Moderate damage. Okay, I'm pretty drunk right now. So I'm 6 feet... Well, I already said this. I made a video where I told you how tall I was and how much I weigh. I'll put it in other terms. I look like a Holocaust survivor. I'm that skinny, so I get drunk pretty easy. Whew. And 2 shot glasses worth of vodka, totally doing it. So, man, what is going on in this game? 319 fuel for the Soviets, and now we can call in a KV-8. We have the manpower, we have the fuel, we have the technology, we can rebuild him, we can make him better, stronger, faster, flamier. and still no KV-8. Holding out for an IS-2. We have the CPs. We don't have the manpower, but we got the fuel. I honestly don't. I would expect some sort of tank. That would be the logical thing to do. Just decapping this munis and then going over to the VPs, because the VPs are looking kind of dire for the Soviets. We're up to... Oh, it's a Tiger. You better fucking... Don't call him the KV-8. Oh my god, do not call him the KV-8. You don't see the Tiger yet. As soon as he sees the Tiger, he or she, is gonna be like, yeah, I think I'd rather have an IS-2. So in the next patch, they're changing it so the ISU-152 and the... Oh, fuck! Something got... Well, wait. No, it's just reinforcement. I was like, oh, this grayed out. The Soviets bought something. No, it's just the manpower dipped slightly. In the next patch, they're changing it. Look at these conscript badasses. Vet 2, Advanced Rifle Dash Training? The fuck? Who the fuck writes these tooltips? I went on a rant, in one of my previous videos about the airborne tooltip, which was bullshit. I think it was the bar tooltip. This one's stupid too. Advanced rifle training. Like it's like one word. Rifle training. Hey comrade, I am going to go get rifle training. I got gold star in rifle training. Is one word. God. Okay, that's stupid. Anyways, so yeah, they're cool. Oof. So has the Soviet... Okay, Soviets gonna see the Tiger now? Nope, it's crushing stuff. So you can see this in the fog of war. That's a nice tip, if you didn't know. You can always see tanks crushing stuff in the fog of war, so you can tell where your enemy vehicles are, but you don't know what tank it is. Oh, and we do have an IS-2 called in, so I don't know if the Soviets saw the Tiger. Oh, that's ugly. How is that on fire? I guess it's a Molotov. Process of deduction. I'm fucking Sherlock Holmes. I watched Sherlock Holmes... A Game of Shadows the other day. Not a bad movie. It's got Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr., both of whom are pretty, so, like, what can you complain about? And it's got cool music by Hans Zimmer. So now we have an IS-2 versus a Tiger, the Battle of the Titans. The Tiger gets a damaged engine right off the bat from this AT grenade thrown by the conscript, so that's pretty unfortunate. It looks like Tiger's got a couple bouncing shots versus the IS-2, which is really unfortunate. This Stug 3 is not going to do bullshit. The Tiger's down to less than half health. The IS-2 is going to fuck it up. The IS-2 is fucking it up. Oh my god, this is unfortunate. Oh, crew shocked. Now is your chance to circle around behind. I'm just kidding, you're fucked. Do we have an AT? The AT gun wasn't even in the fight. Oh, yes, it was. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Too drunk to realize what's going on. The AT gun was in that fight. That was a tactical master stroke from the Soviet player right there. It has... click on this. Well, this has a vehicles destroyed 1, so it probably got the kill. But, see how much vet it has. Yeah, that much vet. It's probably killed the Tiger. So, that's really unfortunate for the German player. Couple that with the bad map control that the German player has. So this is looking pretty safe on the Soviet side. What does the German have in terms of AT? I'm guessing not a lot. Oh, we have this AT guy. Okay. I was wondering how this IS-2 was fucking, like, dying. And it was this thing. I'm too drunk. I should not have had that second shot glass of vodka. Bad idea, Tycho. Go back in time. Don't be so drunk. Don't be an alcoholic. So this is looking still bad for the Germans. I mean, it's not like the Soviet can't just, like, repair this Taranyo. Yeah, these guys are just gonna repair this right the fuck up. And map control is looking pretty good. These guys with the LMG are Vet 3 with 24 kills, so they're going to be tough to dislodge. So that's the fuel for the Germans, but it's not even connected, because these conscripts don't even give a fuck. They're just sitting idle. They don't even need to give a fuck. So looking pretty sweet for the Soviets. So my prediction that Honey Nuts was going to win, because Honey Nuts is ranked one higher, 34 instead of 35, appears to maybe perhaps have potentially been erroneous. But, in my defense, the Soviets really hurting on VPs, 205 versus 483. Not like it matters if you sort of establish map dominance, but when it comes down to the wire, every second counts. That's a stolen MG42. Look at these shock troops. In case you're not familiar with the stats of Company Heroes 2, maybe you don't hang out at CoH2.org, maybe you don't visit the stats repositories. These shock troops do massive damage at extremely close range. So like you get them this close basically to enemies and they will just tear shit up. They will be opening up new assholes like McDonald's franchises. It's nuts. At range they're not so great, but you just get I mean at medium range they're alright, so I mean, it's not like they're not gonna do anything, but it's at like point blank range, gross point blank range that the shock troops do hella damage. I was going to tell you about my alarm clock. I remember that just now. So my alarm clock, the clock by my bed. Are these cops? Don't move out of the capture zone. Don't move out of the capture. Okay, good. Stay in the capture zone. Obviously, because you want to get this fuel. This is one of the two most important points. That's somewhat along with this one. So, anyways, I have one of those smart atomic clocks that sets itself when you plug it in. It synchronizes with the Navy or whatever. With cesium atoms. But a few years ago, like, Congress voted to change daylight savings time, the date of it. Like, now we spring forward and fall back at different dates than it was before. They just passed a law. My clock did not get the memo, so one day I woke up and I was like, man, it's like 5 a.m. I woke up really early. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling rested. I'll just sleep in for like 4 hours. No, I woke up at 6 a.m. There was no time change, but my clock thought it was daylight savings time because it was made back when daylight savings time was the old time. And the thing is, this has been happening for like 5 years or something, or 6 years, I don't know, a long time. This could be really bad if this Stug opens up a hole. Oh, it happened! It sank. It opened up a hole here, and these guys just committed suicide because they're like, that gun was the love of my life. It was a polyamorous relationship between the AT gun and all those men. It was a Romeo and Juliet thing. It's really sad. It's really sad. I feel for those guys. We have the special ability activated on this MG42, but it's packing up to retreat, so we don't get to watch it. That's also sad. So much sad things. So much tragedy in this game. Why do people have to fight? Why does there have to be war? Why does it have to be company of heroes instead of company of friends? Why can't we just get along? Why can't we just get along? Artillery, this is gonna roast some motherfuckers. Alright. So, yeah, despite my alarm clock being like always wrong about daylight savings time by like a week for many years now, I still haven't quite like internalized it. So, looking pretty sweet for the Soviets. If I had to call things right now, which I don't because I'm fucking in charge, you can't make me do it. Oh man, this IS-2 is looking pretty bad. If this one more Shrek hit, do it, you know you want to fucking do it, shoot the fucking, oh, out of control. There you go. How do you feel now, motherfucker? You're on the top of the world? No, you're dead. You're as dead as Rasputin. I don't know. I can name literally any dead person from history. Alexander the Great. Fuck, what's his name? His name, so I was reading, okay, I forget who I was reading. His name is Tamerlane in like French and stuff. But like, they named him that because his leg was fucked up because he got hit by an arrow. He was like some Mongol dude, or some warlord, some Muslim warlord who was like, back when he was young, he was riding a caravan and he got hit by an arrow. So maybe it's like Timur or something? I don't know. But he's a badass. History. I'm drunk. So it's looking pretty sweet for Soviets despite losing the IS-2, because among other things, the Soviets just called in another IS-2. So that's, I suppose, that's another saying. Just like don't bring a look. He's skating. All right, I love this. Yeah, best bug ever. I mean, there's probably better, but oh man, he started running. That's really unfortunate. Oh, and another tiger. So here we go. We're gonna do this again. It's gonna be a do-over. This machine gun is gonna die. Oh, but we do get the first hit off from the AT gun. This is a well-positioned AT gun. Tiger's gonna flank it, but oh, it's an IS-2. Surprise, motherfucker! There's a super tank waiting for you. You thought your super tank was gonna win? No, not even gonna happen. So the Tiger's like, whoop, let's pull out. IS-2 gets a nice penetration. Tiger does wipe out a man on this AT gun, so that's good in the short term because the Tiger doesn't want to get hit by the AT gun. Bad in the long term because it looks like the IS-2's gonna do some real work. Good penetrations from the Soviets means this Tiger's at half health. This thing's got to go over. You know, is the IS-2 going to target the Pioneers, that would be interesting. While they're on the ice, I would really think about targeting them, because look, they're in a clump, you hit there, they would sink. I guess this is actually a good idea to target the Tiger, because he's fucking blowing it apart. Oh my god, this is brutal. Pulling back from the Shrek. Oh, look at that. Ugh, poor Pioneers. Okay, now's the time to hit the Pioneers. They're repairing. They'll take super massive damage. I guess he's focusing on the Shreks. That turns out not to be a bad idea, but now since you have the 42 upgrade, or it's not a 42, what the fuck am I talking about? It's a DSHK 38 12.7mm. Since you have that up here, you really want to focus fire the Pioneers when they're repairing. It'll basically insta-gib them, but this is down to half health. I would still chase. Yeah, totally worth chasing. You get lucky with a few penetrations, and that's the end of the Tiger, and that's GG right there. The Tiger's still alive, and the IS-2's being forced off by the Shreks. The thing on top is shooting the men. Still got 135 fuel in the bank for the Soviets, looking pretty good. A lot of pretty good map control. Wehrmacht trying to do its best to recap, but I don't know what the fuck you're capping this with Pioneers for. I guess you shift-clicked them a while ago, because you're going to need this to cut off the Soviets from the fuel and to connect you to this, so there's no reason to capture this before this. Like, literally no reason to capture this before this. Maybe to decap. In, like, some bizarro world, I could understand decapping this before capturing this, but like, there's basically no reason. So, not like I'm castigating Honey Nuts. I'm sure Honey Nuts just shift-clicked these Pioneers a while ago, would have retasked them had there not been more prevalent micro issues at hand. But it looks like, so the Soviet player, speaking of the floating of the fuel that was remarked upon many moons ago, the strategy appears to have been just save for super tanks, IS-2 and stuff, which saves you the problem of teching up. You only have to go to tier 2 to get AT guns if your opponent dumps stuff into vehicles. Nice conscript merge right here. A couple of those guys showing up here on this AT gun, so not needing to retreat it. So that's pretty sweet. I don't know about moving the AT gun forward, but whatever, that's your prerogative. Trying to keep the Auster penned in makes sense. So yeah, the strategy here is float fuel, tech up the super tanks, buy some super tanks. Really weird not to see Cloak, though. Anti-tank ambush tactics is one of my favorite abilities in this commander. I mentioned earlier I like this commander, not just because it's free and I'm a stingy motherfucker. Like I said before, I'm Jewish, but one of my favorite things is the Cloak on these AT guns. It really fucks up enemies, right? If you cloak an AT gun, because it's just getting that 1 or 2 shots before your enemy knows where the AT gun is can be so crucial, because if you hit side or even rear shots, that can be so good. This MG is in fucking trouble. Yeah, so I'm really surprised not to see the Cloak. There's almost no downside. It's slower to reposition itself while it's cloaked, but while it's not moving, there's literally no reason not to cloak it, I think, unless you want it to be bait, but that's a slightly, that's an odd situation. You don't normally see it as bait. So, what was I going to say? Long ago, yeah, in the next patch they're changing the ISU and the Elephant, so you have to manually target them every shot. You have to use a tech round or whatever to make them fire. So that's cool. I don't know how I feel about that. Wait until the patch comes out. I'll feel it out. I'll run my fingers over it in a slightly too intimate fashion. It'll be weird. These shock troops need to get out. So this IS-2 is like, sweet, it's Christmas, I'm gonna get some side shots, which are rear shots, because the way armor works in Company Heroes 2, this part of the tank, well, okay, time to move the camera. This part, stop fucking moving. This part of the tank is front armor, and this part of the tank is rear armor. So you notice that means half of the side of the tank, so like rear armor. So if you hit the side of the tank here or here, like in the back, that counts as a rear armor hit. If you hit the side of the tank here or here in the front of the tank, that counts as a front armor hit. With the Pioneers dead, that, oh, there's another Pyre Squad to repair. Okay, that's good. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Some people say they should add in side armor. I am sort of undecided on the topic. You do get some weird rear armor shots and front armor shots, because like, let's say I'm shooting at you from this angle. If I hit slightly to the left, it's a front armor hit. If I hit slightly to the right, it's a rear armor hit. Kind of weird. But again, no opinion on that one way or another. I'm sure I could form one if you force me to a gunpoint, but you don't have a gun to my head. Look at these shock troops getting out with almost nothing. How does it feel to be lucky? This is bad camera work. Too drunk. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Soviets, which means my prediction at the beginning of this is pretty bad. But the Auster can still come back. They do have Well, so you look at the Soviets, we've got 3 conscript squads of the original 4, so Vet 3, Vet 3, and Vet 2. A couple shock troop squads, we've lost at least one of those. I think maybe the others have lived, but we swap over to the Oster, you know, a couple Panzer Grenadier squads. I feel like the Panzer Grenadiers, I haven't been paying enough attention to them. Once they get Shrek'd, their anti-infantry capabilities go down a fair amount, but except when they fucking Quake 3 Instagib rocket launcher somebody. I shouldn't say Instagib. Instagib is the specific mode in Quake 3 where you get the gun that kills people in one hit. That's my favorite in Quake 3. Quake 3 better than Unreal. I don't care if you think I'm wrong, I'm right. And Instagib is the best. And Quake Live is fun, and it's free, so go play Quake Live with me sometime. So yeah, Oster can still come back. They've got a couple Panzergren squads, you know, a Vet 3 Gren squad, you know, and really it's the Tiger, but it looks like now that the Tiger has been damaged engine by the conscripts, and man, Soviet, I feel like are just getting really lucky with the penetrations this match. A lot of shots penetrating the Tiger, very few shots. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hooray for being drunk. Yeah, now we have 2 IS-2s. Soviets win. The end. This was a fun match. I hope you enjoyed it. Really great players. I got drunk. I think I said something about my dick at one point. So that's a winner. If I have 5,000 subscribers when I post this, which I might because I'm 4 away right now, thank you to everybody who subscribed. I will suck the 5,000 subscribers' dick. Or if you're a woman, I'll eat you out. I probably shouldn't. I was gonna do it the other way around. I was gonna say people had to suck my dick, but I don't know. That's what you get when you get vodka. The music is still playing. I guess when you surrender, the music doesn't get the memo that the game is over. So, fun game lesson here. If you save up all your fuel as Soviets, then tech to IS-2s and you get lucky on penetrations versus Tigers, and also position your AT gun well so you get good shots in the middle when you're having a climactic battle, then you can win. How's that for a moral of the story? Pretty good. I have chickpeas cooking on the stove, so I will leave you now while I'm drunk. And amazing.